Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are having a fantastic weekend. Let me tell you right now, I did not plan on making this video, but we have major new developments in the Israel-Hamas war, including some very ominous sounding threats from Iran, and the US just announced they're sending 2 more squadrons of fighter jets to the Middle East. We have to bring you this information as soon as possible. This, if it does spiral out of control and becomes an even bigger conflict, this could have a 20, 30, 40% drawdown on our markets. So I hope you guys are ready. Let's get into it. Also, remember, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you are an investor in Tesla stock or in our broader markets, and at the very least, you want to stay up to date with what's going on each and every single day that will help you make more money. So first things first, the parliament mission of Iran to the United Nations based in New York says, quote, if the Israeli apartheid war crimes and genocide are not halted immediately, the situation could spiral out of control and ricochet far-reaching consequences, the responsibility of which lies with the UN, the Security Council, and the states steering the council towards a dead end. This comes at the same time the Iranian foreign minister meets with political leader of Hamas. This says Iran's foreign minister Hossein Amir Habibullah, I don't know how to say that, so that's my best guess, meet with Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh in Doha, Qatar on Saturday, according to Iran's official news agency IRNA. This is the first official meeting between Iranian officials and Haniyeh after the Al-Aqsa storm operation. Aaron said. No other details on what was discussed between the parties were released. So you basically got this message at the same time Iran was meeting with Hamas. This sounds very escalatory, if I were to say so myself. Now, if you're an equity investor, why is this important? Well, number one, the markets can handle bad news. They can't handle uncertainty. This looks very uncertain. The uncertainty is definitely growing, whether or not Iran will get involved in this conflict. And also point out, I think the most important thing out of this entire video is this tweet highlighted ricochet far-reaching consequences. What does far-reaching consequences mean? Unless there's some kind of missile exchanging hands at a far distance, well, this could potentially have a direct threat associated with oil. Why I have went out on a limb to be so vocal on this situation, why I have made it a point to keep you guys up to date with what's going on here, is the potential, the financial potential impact this could have on the US economy and for your money and your financial situation. Take a look at this. So what percentage of oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz, it doesn't matter. Well, oil tankers carry approximately 17 million barrels of oil each day through the strait, or 20 to 30% of the world's total consumption. To give you a little bit better of a visual on this, this is the Strait of Hormuz. Take a look at that. This is the oil flow and different tankers. This was taken from Bloomberg, posted on a news article from the New York Times. Saudi Arabia is already not happy. Iran's definitely not happy with this situation. They could stop the flow of oil, and that's going to do the United States, the rest of the developed world, it's going to hurt them a lot more than it's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt us a lot more than it's going to hurt them, maybe I should say. Maybe that's a better way to phrase it. That is potentially a disaster. If Iran wanted to block this off, they can, and they will. That's probably what this threat means. And again, we have not heard a lot from Saudi Arabia throughout this conflict so far, besides they support Palestine. They support the Palestinian people, Gaza, and the West Strip. Saudi Arabia said today, quote, They condemn all attacks on civilians and opposes Israel's forcible relocation of Gaza residents outside the region. He urged humanitarian aid and said Saudi Arabia is willing to work with China to promote all parties to abide by international humanitarian law, protect civilians from harm, and implement relevant Security Council relations on the Palestinian issue. China's Wang Yi said that Israel's actions have gone beyond the scope of self-defense, the statement said. Even China's not very happy on this situation. This is getting worse and worse by the day, by the second. This is not going to be good for stocks starting off on Monday, and it looks like there's about to be a ground assault on Gaza City. This article says Israeli invasion plans will target Gaza City and Hamas leadership. The goal, according to 3 senior officers, is to wipe out the top political and military hierarchy of Hamas, the Palestinian group that controls Gaza. This article goes on to say it is also unclear whether Hezbollah, the larger Iran-backed Lebanese militia that is allied with Hamas and possesses a vast array of precision-guided missiles and ground forces, might respond to an invasion of Gaza by opening up a second front with Israel along the Lebanese border. To make it easier for its soldiers to operate, the Israeli military's rules of engagement have been loosened to allow soldiers to make fewer checks before shooting at suspected enemies, the 3 Israeli officers said without giving further details. The invasion was initially planned for the weekend, but was delayed by a few days, at least in part because of cloudy conditions that would have made it harder for Israeli pilots and drone operators to provide ground forces with air cover, the officer said. In addition to infantry, the Israeli strike force will include tanks, sappers, and commandos, the officers added. The ground troops will be given cover by warplanes, helicopter gunships, and aerial drones, and artillery fire from land and sea. Quote, this organization will not rule Gaza militarily and politically, they added. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government also told Lebanese militant group Hezbollah not to start a war on a second front, threatening the destruction of Lebanon if it did. Now, obviously, Hezbollah is a much larger opponent, has a lot more troops, has 140,000 estimated missiles pointed at Israel, would be a very big problem, and that, I think, would not be great for this situation. Potentially directly get Iran involved as well. Although it looks like we're heading down that path anyways. I want to be optimistic here. I don't want to sound too doom and gloomy, but this situation is deteriorating at a rapid clip. It's certain Israel is going to destroy Hamas. There is a lot of people, civilians, in a densely populated area that really have nowhere to go. Bordered by Israel, bordered by Egypt, nobody's letting them go anywhere. They don't have anywhere to go. There's going to be a lot of collateral damage here, and that's going to piss off a lot of people. The question is, who gets involved? That's the bigger question here. Now again, hopefully nobody, but if you're an investor in this market, this is something that should take your utmost attention. You don't want to be caught off guard here when something actually does happen and you see the markets collapse because you had no idea what was going on. In addition, about 1 hour ago, the U.S. has announced deployment of fighter jets to the Middle East. U.S. Air Force Central on Saturday announced the deployment of F-15E fighter jets and A-10 ground attack jets to the Middle East region. The movement of the warplanes from the 494th Expeditionary Fighter Squadron and 354th Expeditionary Fighter Squadron, respectively, bolster the U.S. posture and enhance air operations throughout the Middle East, an Air Force statement said. It did not specify the number of warplanes involved. A U.S. Central Command social media post said the A-10s will join another squadron of the aircraft already in the region. Quote, by posturing advanced fighters and integrating with joint and coalition forces, we are strengthening our partnerships and reinforcing security in the region. If you take a look at this live feed from the Gaza Strip, it is about 6 o'clock in the morning right now, so you want to be on alert overnight tonight, especially on Sunday, if we actually do see this invasion, and if the uncertainty does continue to grow. Maybe you should just call it fears continue to grow about involvement from Hezbollah or Iran. Once Israel does actually invade Gaza, this situation is going to change for the worst. Now, again, I would like to remind you that investors on Friday bought bonds, even though we had higher than expected 1 and 5 year inflation expectations, and investors bought gold, sending gold up 3.21% in regular trading, up another 0.26% in after hours trading. The last time that you have seen a spike in gold in this form was during the COVID crash. Yeah, that's not great. During the COVID crash, gold was up back here on March 23rd, about 4.5%. The day after that was up 4.85%. Remember the kind of fear that you were seeing during this time frame? That's the same degree of fear that you are seeing today. You have not seen a 3+% move higher in gold in almost 4 years. As Elon said recently on Twitter, follow the money. If you're following the money right now, the money is very fearful, playing very defensively. And I won't let you guys not know this information. I will keep you informed of what's going on, what's going to affect your portfolios, what's going to help potentially save you some money. So again, if you guys want to stay up to date with this situation, as well as Tesla stock and all the Tesla stock news you need to know each and every single day, even if it is 11, 12 o'clock at night when you need to hear something, subscribe to the channel. We will keep you up to date and up to speed. As well as that, hit the like button and share this video with someone else that needs to hear this information. Don't mind my daughter in the background. She's playing with cat toys. What can you do? Thank you for watching, guys. My name is Michael Tyler. Enjoy the rest of your day and your nights, and I will see you in the next one.